Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy A-Eazy, and welcome to the kingdom. I'm here today to talk about some secret updates that might be happening in the Crimson Desert, which actually might give us an indication of what the DLC might be about. So there is a YouTuber on YouTube, obviously, named Open World Games, and he has been following a couple people online. It's been doing some data mining in the Crimson Desert. So we're going to react to one of his videos today. Make sure you subscribe to his channel and give his video a like. Without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump into that part of it, and let's check out his video real quick.
So, oh boy, here we go. So it looks like some very exciting things are happening around Crimson Desert. The game world is being updated without you realizing it. So yes,
all right.
What is this, Greymanes? Check this out right here. It looks like several islands outside of our reach have seen some mysterious updates.
That's
but
interesting.
The big question is why, and also how this actually connects to recent data mines with further evidence as to what is coming up for Crimson Desert.
Okay.
Because yeah, we got some strange new updates. The world is evolving without you realizing it, and I think this ties into a potential underwater or maritime update. And yeah, I'm looking at a lot of evidence to support what we're about to talk about here. I'm going to show you guys that evidence, and we're going to dive into some speculation, but I'm going to be careful about not to overhype things that, you know, potentially might not make it in the game. But yeah,
facts.
there's good
That's
reason
true.
to expect some.
That'd be pretty cool. Just think about it, guys. What if we're getting like a, I don't know, like Los Atlantis underwater city type of like DLC, or maybe like more ship like ship battles, or maybe we're like gonna be able to sail to these different islands or something. Like, I think that'd be pretty cool, man. It definitely would give Assassin's Creed Black Flag a run for their money, though.
Really cool stuff coming up here. Crimson Desert news, we're going to talk about that data mine. So yes,
all right.
The world outside the map boundaries, for some reason, Pearlbis is busy updating it, and we got the first collection of evidence, and this comes from a Korean Crimson Desert player. I'm going to throw that source in the description
definitely find that
below.
interesting.
I'm not going to try to pronounce his name because I fear I will butcher it, but it's N-A-N-G-P-L-E. Now, he has documented the environmental changes, the differences between recent versions of the game. So yeah, he has this really cool video out here, and he shows this before, of course, update 118. You can see the island looks normal, of course. Now, after update 118, you could see they added in some white beaches. They made the island more detailed for some reason, and this island is out of reach, by the way. But we got to get closer to the island because that's when you really do start noticing the changes. And once again, we take a look at before update 118. Here is the island, of course, and afterwards, yes, you can see that's a pretty
that's
good
extremely
change right
more
there. It almost looks
detail.
like they want us to perhaps maybe explore this island in the future. But clearly, to get there, we probably need maybe some sort of ship. And yeah, I'm going to be touching base on that in just a moment, so yeah, stay tuned. But it's when you actually step foot on these islands where you really begin to notice the detail that Pearlbis is willing to put into these islands that are very much out of reach for us, at least right now. Because here we go, on the islands, the plot thickens. As you can see, it looks absolutely beautiful. And a fully realized environment. The big question is, will we visit here
that is beautiful
in time as they continue to flesh out these places that are beyond our reach?
Jeez,
but there's also some interesting things happening around the world underwater. So, yes.
Yeah, that is beautiful, man. Did you guys see the detail on that island and just the vibrance of the colors and stuff? Like, that'd be amazing, bro, if we're able to get a ship and actually like sail to these different places, bro. That'd be insane. That'd be insane. And I wonder if the DLC would be based on like maybe some type of pirates type of theme or something along those lines. That'd be pretty cool. At least I think it would be.
According to a report covering these comparisons, blue seaweed has started appearing underwater, while some coastal locations have received new light sandy terrain. Now, of course, these could easily be ordinary visual improvements, but Crimson Desert has received, of course, a ridiculous amount of updates since launch, and Pearlbis has already improved everything from distant scenery to animal interactions, of course. But on August 12th, the studio said it had released 17 patches containing more than 20 new features and, of course, content additions, 120 mounts and pets, and 70 outfits, items and pieces of equipment. It's been a wild ride so far.
That's insane, bro.
Changing the appearance of a beach would not be particularly unusual, of course. But what is unusual is where some of these changes are apparently happening. So players have been monitoring a large location outside the normal playable boundary space that the community has been calling the South Island. And for some reason, Pearl Abyss, they've kind of become obsessed with modifying this particular South Island. And I have to say, what I'm really curious about is not just the island itself. Around the island, under the water, they also keep fleshing out details. And why would they do that? But there's also something going on the east part of the current map, where a mysterious landmass can now be seen beneath the surface of the water. Now, this is not a small rock, by the way, at all. It's not simply a slightly more detailed ocean floor either.
Right.
It appears to be an actual submerged island of some kind or substantial section of terrain. Again, there are innocent explanations for this, of course. You know, it could be terrain created to make the horizon look more believable. It could be abandoned location that was cut from the main game. And it could be just a testing area for the devs they never intended for us to find, of course.
That could be true. They could be testing in future updates, or they could be testing just the game engine to see what's possible. I mean, it could be a number of things. Doesn't necessarily mean that might be where the DLC is leading towards. So I guess I can understand why he said not to overhype it in the beginning. But bro, like I said, man, if there's some type of like pirate themed DLC or the new DLC for Crimson Desert that's coming in the future has like a pirate like level or mission or something like that, that'd be fantastic, bro. Because why else would they really add that much detail to an island that we can't reach? I mean, unless, like I said, they're working on Pearl Abyss might be working on a pirate game themselves, or these are the updates that's going to be coming in the future.
But could even be an unintended consequence of Pearl Abyss changing the game's water visibility. But it is difficult to ignore the fact that multiple ocean locations are being altered while an expansion is actively approaching. I mean, you got to put 2 and 2 together here. And yes, it still leans into speculation, but if the South Island exists only to make the distant scenery look a little nicer, why does it apparently continue receiving attention, especially like underwater where you can't see anything? You know, that's a lot of work for a location that most players will never properly visit. Or will we? That is the question. Okay, but it's the camera files that are an even bigger clue here. Stick with me because this is where it gets really fascinating. So according to a community post examining the files, one update added an entry called Player Swim Underwater, and the following update allegedly also added Player Ride Underwater. Yes, you heard right, Ride Underwater. So the same player also claims there are multiple additional entries connected to ship controls, by the way. Now,
bro, could you imagine being able, yes, to swim underwater in Crimson Desert, but to be able to ride like a dolphin or like some type of sea monster or something, or sea creature underwater, bro? Or even like a submarine. Like, what if we could get like a little mini submarine that we can go through and explore the ocean in the sea, bro? That would be completely insane, bro. That'd be completely insane. He said they added boat or ship mechanics too. Oh, come on, bro. That'd be insane. Because the level of detail that's in this game and just the way how beautiful everything looks, man, can you imagine that?
I could not confirm, of course, that these entries are active gameplay features, and even if the names are authentic, internal development labels do not always mean, you know, what they mean. So developers test things, they figure out things, features get cut. Yeah, old code can survive for years and years, of course, but, you know, apparently this was kind of like added into the game more recently and discovered by the player base. But Player Swim Underwater is not especially difficult to interpret, of course. It sounds like a camera state intended for a player swimming beneath the surface, and Player Ride Underwater, for me, that's the one I'm mostly curious about, because it's very hard to dismiss here, because Crimson Desert already separates the camera behavior used when walking, swimming, flying, and riding different mounts. If an underwater riding camera exists, then the obvious question is, what are we riding here? A giant fish? Some kind of sea serpent? Maybe even perhaps some sort of seahorse? The possibilities are endless. So,
it's
you know,
so many
there's a
different
lot
things,
of different things. You can speculate here. Let me know what you guys would like to see if this pans out to be true. But
like I said,
you know, maybe it's
submarine
even
would
a
be
creature
cool.
that can move between land and water, which actually would be really, really legit. Maybe a dragon that can go underwater. Of course, I could dream.
Bro.
That would be absolutely badass.
Bro, if we got a sea dragon, that'd be crazy,
Take
bro.
a dragon, dive down, and go straight and submerge underwater. Because they are saying, you know, about this upcoming DLC that they don't exactly want to play it safe. You know, they want to do something outside the norm. So it could be that they are doing just that here. And I gotta say, like, an aquatic mount would actually maybe fit the game here because they already have all sorts of wild stuff in the game.
That's facts.
But it would also be cool to see ships, which again, I'm going to talk about that here in just a moment. And another theory is that we might not be talking about a creature at all. Ride, that term, might actually refer to some sort of maybe like underwater machine. We do have machines in this world.
And that's what I'm
Honestly,
saying.
I still would love for it to be some sort of wyvern that you can take from the air, dive down straight into the water. That for me would be absolutely badass.
That would be crazy. I'm not gonna lie, that'd be crazy.
So yeah, now the question is, what could actually be beneath the surface of the water in that ocean, and why would Pearlbis want to take us there? So yeah, let's assume for a moment that underwater exploration is actually coming here. That does not automatically mean that the entire DLC will be based at sea, of course. Pearlbis could simply be adding diving as part of a smaller free update. That could actually
it could just be a part of it
here. But the submerged landmass raises the possibility that the underwater system is being built for more than just collecting fish or searching for treasure chests. Although, you know, treasure chests, I would potentially expect that to be a big part of the experience and loot.
Yeah.
But the most obvious option here would be underwater ruins, which you guys know I have talked time and time again about them adding in some sort of ruins or something like that into the game. You know, dungeons in particular, dungeons being the key word. It'd be
I can picture us like swimming into the ocean or into the sea, like go on our ship, go to like a marker or something out there, diving in there, kind of like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and being able to, except for the difference would be is being able to go underwater, and then once you're underwater, like you're inside like an underwater abyss type of thing, where maybe there's an abyss puzzle out there or a boss that's underwater that we have to fight in this big open area underwater, or there might just be a whole entire city that's underwater, and as soon as we go through like a tunnel underwater or something like that, it opens up to this really big city that's not submerged. Like that would be awesome, bro.
Really, really cool if we had underwater dungeons that we could visit.
Right.
You know,
that's what I'm saying.
is already filled with tons of lost civilizations, buried technology, and structures very much connected to the abyss. Moving some of that exploration beneath the ocean would give Pearlbis a completely different visual style, without, of course, abandoning the world it has already crafted. So imagine leaving the coast, diving beneath the waves, and finding the remains of an entire settlement below you. That would be like freaking awesome. But, you know, it is risky doing a DLC revolving around like going underwater, because the movement would have to be on point and feel amazing.
Very true.
I think of one game that had some of the best underwater exploration was definitely like Horizon Forbidden West and the more recent Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. If they could do that sort of thing, then I think a lot of the player base would absolutely love it. But, you know, one thing that could alleviate this problem and solve the issues with, potentially, if there is issues with movement underwater and people being apprehensive about that, is an underwater mount, which there are signs that that's the direction they could potentially be headed here. And you also have to remember that Pearlbis, they are really, really intent on developing amazing water for their game engine, you know?
Yeah, the water looks great.
They showcased this with their Black Space engine presentation, which specifically highlighted the flowing water, shallow water as major pieces of its technology. So maybe they really want to showcase this even more.
Yeah, they'll definitely have the opportunity to do that.
But what about ships? I've been mentioning them on and off throughout the video, and I know a lot of you guys would like to see more than just like a rowboat, which we do have at least that right now, but we want to see like full-blown vessels. But yeah, the reference to ship controls, which, you know, was recently data mined, are where this theory really starts expanding from underwater exploration into this full-blown maritime DLC theory. So there are already detailed ships throughout Crimson Desert, of course. We see them at ports, along coastlines, inside missions, and around certain settlements. But unfortunately, most of these ships just function as like backdrops or scenery, but you can't actually like board these ships and find all sorts of cool treasures and things.
I haven't even done that yet.
Of course, like maroon ships. But yeah, what about controlling them? So giving the player direct control of a ship would create an entirely new layer of exploration. And after spending quality time with Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced and more recently A-Eazy, let me tell you what, I am so ready for full-blown maritime DLC support where you can control a ship. But of course, there are several things they could do with ships in Crimson Desert. It's not just something they would probably just throw in the game. In Pearl Abyss, they already have tons of experience with ships as well. But yeah, you know, we could leave the mainland, travel between islands and approach locations that are currently inaccessible from land.
Yeah, I think they have
also be used as kind of like a mobile base. Now that
I think they have ships in Black Desert online, if I'm not mistaken.
is something I would absolutely love to see. With what they did with home decoration, apply that to decorating the interior of your ship or even customizing the ship's arsenal. Yeah, there's a lot they could do.
That'd be insane if we could do that.
This would really revitalize, I guess you would say, the current player base within Crimson Desert, and even people looking into this game or maybe haven't even tried it would definitely give it a chance just because of a significant maritime update. So
that's
yeah,
facts.
I do think that this is a path that we could eventually see. Now, sea monsters would also be something that'd be
really cool.
And of course, there's already things in the game related to this. I'm not going to go into details specifically because I know you guys don't want stuff spoiled, but if there are sea monsters, what would you guys like to see? I think those type of boss battles would be absolutely epic. And you know what further supports this is Pearl Abyss. They're not going into uncharted territory here when it comes to building out like an entire ocean system and an entire maritime update because of Black Desert Online.
See, that's what I thought.
Black Desert includes
that's exactly what I thought.
Upgradable ships, large crews, ship-mounted canyons, sea monster hunting, and a bartering economy built around moving goods.
Which leads me to another point, guys. I will be playing Black Desert Online on the channel as well. So be on the lookout for that. And it's going to be a new player experience because I have played it up to level 6, but I haven't played it past that. But we're going to go ahead and play it on the channel for sure.
Between islands. So its ships can be specialized for trade or naval combat with different upgrades affecting cargo space, speed, and weapon capability. You can clearly see right now how nicely this would fit into Crimson Desert. And because they already know how to make these things function and work, sliding into Crimson Desert shouldn't be too much of a challenge. They can actually just improve it even more considering that this is a single player game. We might even see like full-blown customizable ships as well. You know, a crew made up of characters we already know, for example, you know, Yan. Can you imagine having Yan with you at the high seas? I don't know how many of you guys would actually do that, but that would be absolutely hilarious.
I don't think I gotten to that point in the game yet.
Yeah, so the trade update that recently happened might actually be very much interconnected in what they would do with a maritime update.
I know they have trade routes and stuff like that now. Of course,
added those 133 new trading posts, 24 high-value trade goods.
Right.
4 additional regular goods, 7 wagon workshops, and a new system in which prices change when too many items are sold at one location. It's actually pretty cool, and they're trying to really get people involved with the system as they update the game. And harder to reach trading posts can now generate more profit, while royal posts pay considerably more than before. Nothing in patch notes mentions ships or maritime trading, of course. So yeah, I don't want to like pretend that it's a guarantee that we would see something like this. But if they did have trading posts out there on an island or what have you, man, it would be so cool to be able
That'd
to
be
have
really
trade
cool.
routes on the ocean and to really earn money in that manner and actually engage in the high seas in that way. But yeah, I'm extremely curious to see what happens next with this data mine, if it comes true or not. But I think this is the path that Pearl Abyss might actually take here with Crimson Desert. And I honestly think it's a path they should take on top of dungeons, you know, Maritime update, dungeons. That's what I'm talking about. And yes, do more with the actual wyverns, dragons. Hell yes. But yes, you guys know what time it is. It is time to go over your top comments. As always, love reading over your comments. So be sure.
And that's where we're going to end it at for this, guys. Make sure you guys hop over to Open World Games and make sure you give him a sub and like the video, guys. He's got a lot of good updates for Crimson Desert, and we're going to react to more of his videos. So that way we can go ahead and just on this channel too, keep updating on Crimson Desert. It's definitely one of my favorite games of this year. And honestly, it's probably my game of the year, if I'm being honest. Yeah, man, I'm excited. I really do think if they do add some type of like naval ship battles and you can get a ship, you can sail to different islands, that'd be fantastic for DLC. And like I said, and like he said too, if you had like underwater like civilizations or underwater like cities that you can go visit, that'd be crazy, bro. That'd be insane. And if you did have like an underwater dragon that you can ride, or like little small submarines that you can kind of maneuver through the sea with underwater, that'd be insane. That'd be different than like a lot of like games that are out right now. I know we have Forbidden West, like he said, and we have Black Flag Resynced, but they don't go into depth like that. I mean, you're not riding the underwater sea dragon to these different locations and stuff like that. Like I do think that that'd be pretty cool. So guys, let me know what you guys think. Also let me know in the comments, guys, are you guys still playing are you still playing Black Desert Online, and are you playing Crimson Desert still? If you guys are, drop that in the comments. Let me know how, actually let me know how Black Desert Online is, because I do plan on playing that. I'm not expecting like a whole total Crimson Desert like experience, because I know Black Desert's been out for like I think 10 plus years, or maybe 10 years now. But it does look interesting. I do want to check it out. I do like MMO RPGs, so I am going to check that out, guys. But yeah, Crimson Desert, it's just amazing. I'm still playing through it. I started to advance the story a lot more because I felt like, you know, I've done a lot of exploring and it's time to kind of advance the story a little bit to see if there's anything that I'm going to get from that. Whether if that's new skills or unlocks or new weapons, different armor sets, something that I might be missing. So right now I'm in chapter 8 in that right now, almost to chapter 9, I believe. So yeah, I'll be updating that and uploading some new gameplay from that, guys. But let me know in the comments, man, also how you like my reaction content. Let me know if there's anything I could be doing different. Subscribe today, join the kingdom. I greatly appreciate all the support. I appreciate all the new subscribers and all my existing subscribers. Welcome to the kingdom. Let's keep it going, guys. We're on the road to 1K. So please help me reach that goal. I greatly appreciate all the support. But that's pretty much it, man. Your boy's out. Blessings, peace. Let's go. Let's get it, guys. Till next time. You gotta be blessed and take care. Above all, keep God first, bro. Let's run that. Let's go.